Hi everybody, my name is Bob Trezise and I'm President and CEO of LEAP, Lansing Economic Area Partnership. We work on economic development activities and projects for global Lansing. That's Ingham, Eaton, and Clinton County right here in the central part of Michigan. We have some interesting economic development news and stories as usual. Scroll down and see all the links of what's going on. There's one article, a real nice article from Joe Carr here this week, and a very interesting take on statues in the U.S. and how 3D printing could be an interesting solution to some of that issue. So take a look at all the articles that are on there. At the end, I'm going to talk about one of the great men, Jud Heathcote, and the former coach who passed away this week at Michigan State. I'm also going to give a fearless football prediction as tomorrow's the opening game for MSU's football season. So stay tuned for all that. In the meantime, we just have a couple quick things to talk about. One is a great project was announced this week in Delhi Township by local developer Scott Gillespie, and this project is called Esker Square. And this is right along the main street, if you will, of Holt, Delhi Township, which is South Cedar Street. The Downtown Development Authority has a nice piece of property right at South Street that used to be, or is, very contaminated. And so they are giving that to the developer, Scott Gillespie. He's going to build a 3-story mixed-use building with 60 or so apartments and retail, office, commercial on the first floor, and they're going to clean up the site. It's going to be a brownfield, and so the state DEQ is going to be involved from that perspective. But this is a very nice project. Delhi Township has worked very hard to take a strategic look at their main street, South Cedar Street, and working with their Downtown Development Authority and working obviously with the developers. So they got a nice project. It fills in space, makes the corridor feel and be more walkable, brings some new businesses, some new people. It's a great addition to our region. So congratulations to the leadership of Delhi Township and to the vision, as usual, of Scott Gillespie. A great partnership between those two parties. Here's the man, Tony Willis. He's LEAP's director of the New Economy Division, does all entrepreneurial and business startup in our region, does an incredible job. And this week, Tony, we had our monthly hatching competition, our business pitch competition.
Absolutely.
Sort of our local version of Shark Tank, only better. And because there's a little beer involved.
Oh yeah.
That's okay.
It's fun.
It helps
right?
a little bit. It's all fun. That's something we need to pay attention to too. Fun, in my opinion. But we had entrepreneurs. We had wonderful 4 companies that we had, or individuals that we had set up to make their business pitches. A great event, a packed house at Lansing Brewing Company, and we had another great winner. And I thought this time around we always have very good presenters, but these 4 were, I thought, kind of extra. And so, well, tell us all about it. Who was our winner and how did it go?
Absolutely. So yeah, Bob, we had our monthly hatching event at LBC. It takes place the last Wednesday of every month. We always have between 4 or 5 entrepreneurs. They have 5 minutes to pitch their ideas to the audience, the judges, for a chance to win $1,000 in cash or seed funding, plus war chest of services, whether it's free website, legal formation, CPA assistance, the list goes on.
Really, and $1,000.
And $1,000, exactly.
Yep.
You know, and this month, LEAP was a sponsor. We put the event on each month. We actually sponsor the funds this month too. So our winner was Alex Rennie with Glowworks.
Glowworks. Okay.
Yep, Glowworks. So the idea of the company, it's a student at MSU, and he partnered with a professor who has this, I guess, a photo. it's very scientific here.
Yeah, let's hear you explain it. Something about paint.
That's right. Like, imagine paint that captures solar energy, the photons, and then creates electricity and energy off those for that small applications to work on. So his idea is to take that paint and make STEM educational kits for students to learn. Imagine I-5. You take your daughter, your son there, have them work on an educational STEM kit, and they can then create this.
He had a prototype on stage, and it was cool.
It was cool.
When you flash a light on this paint, it sort of sparkles to life and creates energy, and a sort of a board flashes to life. And
that's right.
It was a lot of fun to see. It was very imaginative.
It was. You know, you definitely see being very engaged youth playing with this as we want to increase the STEM, especially the science, technology matters in our young individuals here. I think that would be a great way just to introduce them to a cool new program at their disposal.
Well, every month we look like Chicago through through this program. Mostly MSU students are participating. Of course, it's open to all, though, and everyone.
This year it's half and half.
Very good. Okay, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good. Go get them in.
Hey, thank you, Bob.
Happy Labor Day.
Go Spartans.
All right, so here we are at the fun part. Want to wish everybody a very happy and safe Labor Day weekend. There's a lot going on. I know so many of you rely on my basketball and football predictions every year, and of course they're always spot on correct. I'll give you my fearless prediction about our football team this year. I think it's going to be a 7-5 year. I wouldn't be surprised if 6-6. They go to a bowl, nice bowl, they win it. They've doubled the wins from last year, and it's a great year for Mark D'Antonio. We are so lucky to have Mark D'Antonio as our football coach. I've been absolutely flabbergasted by some criticism or suggesting this is a year to be judged on by Mark D'Antonio. That is crazy talk. He's one of the best football coaches in America. His integrity and knowledge of the football field is unmatched. So we're only incredibly lucky to have him, and it's going to be a great season. They're going to beat Bowling Green tomorrow, probably something like 35-17. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Jud Heathcote. Talk about integrity and understanding X's and O's and being a legend and so many, building on the shoulders of the greats. I don't think Mark D'Antonio, certainly Tom Izzo, and a lot of other great global features of MSU today wouldn't be here if it weren't for this guy. And Jud Heathcote sadly passed away this week. He was 90 years old. He was the basketball coach of the Spartans during the 80s and late 70s, 80s, and 90s. And in 1977, I was 12 years old. My little brother was 9 years old. My mom and dad bought season basketball tickets to Michigan State University because Jud Heathcote was new and had just landed a brand new recruit by the name of Irvin Magic Johnson from my hometown right here in Lansing. And so suddenly MSU basketball was hot. So my neighbors would pick my little brother and I up, and they would drive us to the basketball game. They had season tickets, and we would all go into Jennison Fieldhouse, literally a barn. And you would walk in, and your feet would stick to the rubber floor, all the popcorn and spilled pop and everything else, and it was gross and sweaty and smelled. And as soon as you walked in the door, it was jam-packed, shoulder to shoulder, chest to chest, and we would all shuffle, just barely shuffle to our bleachers. No seats in Jennison Fieldhouse. Bleachers. Nothing more than a high school gymnasium, really. And somehow my mom and dad got season tickets just 10 rows behind MSU's bench. And it was like my brother and I were in the huddle with MSU. It was incredible. In the ornery, fearless, fearful, Jud Heathcote screaming and pounding his fists on his forehead and on the desk. Every game in the 70s, by the way, every game, I don't think I'm exaggerating, he would get a technical foul, just going after the referees. I mean, he was a wild man, and of course, his matchup zone would absolutely tenaciously destroy the strength of the other team game in and game out, no matter what talent Jud had and what the other team had through the years. He was a mathematician, he's amazing. So, of course, I'm not a reporter or a coach or somebody who really matters who would have met Jud Heathcote, but I did have one experience with him. So somebody must have invited my brother and I when we were, again, 12, 13, 9 years old, somewhere in that range, invited us to a luncheon where Jud was speaking at the University Club. And, of course, the room was full with much older people, and then my brother and I were way in the back. And Jud took questions at the end, and people were asking questions. And then here from way in the back, you had these little hands go up, me and my brother, and we had basketball questions, and we asked a question. Jud called on us each, my brother and I, and we asked whatever we asked, and he answered the questions. And then, so the whole luncheon got over, and Jud stands up from the table, and he stomps, limping on his knees as he always did, stomped over, threw everyone, parted everybody, came straight forward back with his, kind of a harsh look on his face, straight back, and confronted me and my brother. And he said, "What are you young guys doing here today? You ask the best questions, better than anybody else here. You're the only two who know what you're talking about." And he shook our hands, and of course it was funny, and it's just a great moment that my brother Scott and I will always remember and treasure. about this great man, Jud Heathcote. So rest in peace, Jud Heathcote. You were one of the greats, and I try to be like you, person of integrity and high competence, and get things done with a sense of fun and no nonsense. Happy Labor Day, everybody. We'll see you next week.